BookTube. I'm Lori, and welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper. I'm here with my October book haul, and let me just tell you, I only acquired 4 books in the month of October. Yeah, 4. I did so well. I'm so proud of myself. So let's get started. The first book I picked up at a little free library near me, which I should stop visiting, but I didn't want to pass this up because I've long wanted to read Jacqueline Winspear, and this one is not the first in her series, Maisie Dobbs series. The first is called Maisie Dobbs, I think, but this one is Elegy for Eddie, and it is I don't know, somewhere in the middle. It is a story about Eddie, who's a friend of Maisie's father's. He sells fruits and vegetables on the streets of London and actually is also somewhat of a carer of horses, maybe, or lives in a stable, something like that. Anyway, Eddie comes to a violent end, which looks like an accident, but it is apparently not. And so she is kind of, I guess, charged maybe by her dad or someone to investigate what happened to Eddie. The big-haired bookworm really likes Jacqueline Winspear, says she's solid. She's won a lot of awards, including an Agatha, and I think she's been nominated for tons of awards, but Alex McCavity Awards and for Maisie Dobbs. So yeah, I'm excited to read another new mystery author to me. Then I went to Prague, as you may know from watching my channel, and picked up The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. This is one I've already read. It's one of my favorites. I love it. I love this version. Look at the end papers of this copy that are his actual writing when he was writing The Metamorphosis. There's a little bit about Kafka at the end, about this story as well as about him. It has illustrations, which are just really unique, I would say. This is a great copy. They had a whole series of his books in this format, and I wish I would have gotten the others now, but this came it was featured in a tiny little bookstore in what's called the Golden Road, which is up by the palace and the cathedrals and that whole area where you can go and see just tons of stuff. They have something called the Golden Road, which has a lot of little shops, and then it also has some like vignette historical kind of looks into what tailors and seamstresses and alchemists and woodworkers all, what their homes and their shops look like at that time. They were all kind of set there and what they really look like. It was really neat. You can see it in my vlogs as I'm trying to get those up little by little, but anyway, I'm glad I popped in, and this was I think it was like $8 or something. It was a nice, cheap little book, but a great copy of a story that I adore. Then the Audible gift card that I got last month from a project that I had worked on as a gift was a 3-month gift credit instead of 1 Audible credit. So last month I got a book with that, and this month I got a 2-for-1 sale when I discovered I had another credit. I went on to look, and it was a 2-for-1 sale. So that was exciting. So with my Audible credit, I bought a couple of books, and the first one is called The Shining Girls by Lauren Bukes, maybe. So I had just heard about this not too long ago, and I'm trying to remember who talked about it on BookTube, but I remember hearing a review of it, and it was pretty positive. And it is about a serial killer in the Depression era of Chicago. And so I'm from Chicago. I love serial killer novels. I can't wait. I think it's going to be fantastic. Then I also got What She Left Behind by Ellen Marie Wiseman. So I marked this book to read 2 years ago and heard about it on BookTube as well, I think. This follows a girl named Izzy whose mother kills her father violently and goes to prison. So Izzy is sent into foster care, and the foster parents that she's with, or they may have adopted her at this point, purchase an old home with the intention of turning it into a museum. And they ask Izzy, who's 17 now, to go through the things in the home and really kind of categorize them and catalog them and discover what they can use. And she discovers some information about her parents and about her past, or their past. I think I first heard about this from Lindsay, whose channel is Lindsay's Little Library. I'm pretty sure Lindsay read it and recommended it. I think she's maybe read a couple of her novels, but again, if it was on the list of books you could purchase 2 for 1, and it had been on my to read list, and The Shining Girls had just kind of come into my purview recently. So I was so excited. So 4 books in the month of October. I think that's pretty good. I really feel good about that. Um, we'll see how I do in November. We're coming up to the Advent Project in December. My daughter has been collecting books for me. I've been collecting books for her. It's all going to be great. I'm going to love it. Everything is fine. And so I'm excited about December because I'll be able to do a video a day. They'll be short, but I'll be able to do a video a day of that Advent Project. And I really just think that's going to be so much fun. Thanks for joining me today. I'd love to know what you hauled in the month of October and what you think about these books. If you're a Kafka fan, if you've ever read Jacqueline Winspear, and if you've read either one of the Audible choices that I chose this month, I would love to hear it, and other books that you recommend, because I'm always looking for books. I am in the process of setting my 2020 goals, and they're more than just like what I'm going to read. I'm really focusing on how I'm going to manage the books that I have set myself up to read next year, because this year I feel like I went way overboard and set myself up for not meeting my goals possibly, and that's upsetting me. So in the last couple of months of this year, I'm really trying to focus on what I said I would read this year and getting it done. And that's tricky. And then I've already set some things, like some 5-star predictions I've set that I'm, going to need to read at some point. I don't know that I set it up to read them this year, but I want to keep up with that too. And I've only read one of those so far. And I have a fall reading list, so I'm kind of trying to get through that. And so, so many books, and at the moment, so little time to read, but I'm going to make it. I'm going to do it. This week I am not home. I'm home today for a moment. I came home to vote, but I'm staying with my daughter-in-law and my granddaughters this week. And so I'm, just playing with them and being with them and being present with all them and trying to just soak up that time with them. So not as much reading happening this week, but it'll all work itself out. No one will be harmed if I don't make all my goals happen, but I am starting to really take a look at doing this differently next year and how I can track this differently. So there'll be a video up about that soon too, because I am really setting my 2020 goals in all aspects of my life right now. For my business goals, I started setting those goals last month at a little retreat that I went on for myself. I'm now looking at my reading goals. I'm looking at my crafty creative goals for next year, and really just kind of cementing some of the things that are important in my life. Okay, guys, thanks for joining me. I'm happy that you're still hanging in here with me, and I hope you have a very happy reading day. Bye.